This podcast contains explicit language.
Bafangu!
Houston, flight is go.
Mila, let's go. STM. Safety contact.
From Assignment X, the SoniaShow.com, and Amalgamated Storytelling, this is the Dorking Out Show, the podcast for people who love stories from movies, TV, books, podcasts, and everywhere else.
Welcome to episode 118 of Dorking Out. This is the Return to Westworld edition. My name is Sonia Mansfield. My co-host Christopher Allen Smith is still on sabbatical, so screw that guy. Who needs him anyway? Joining me today is my BFF of the show, Peter Brown, Associate Editor of Assignment X. Hi, Peter.
Hi. Hi, Sonia. How are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on the show, Master P.
Oh, sure. Of course. Happy to be here.
Yeah. When I asked you what you wanted to talk about, I thought for sure you were going to say Jim Cotta. And I was a little disappointed that you didn't, to be honest. But instead,
I can come back and we can talk about that another time. If you really, really want to talk about Jim Cotta, I can talk about Jim Cotta probably for a good 10 minutes. So
it would be the shortest episode of Dorking Out ever.
People will be like, I have no idea what this person is talking about or what they're doing.
It's like gymnastics and karate.
That's right, Jim.
And you can find the Dorking Out Show at dorkingoutshow.com. That's it. That's the end.
That would probably be it, yes. So, actually, there's much, much more layers than that onion. But maybe we'll leave that for another time.
Maybe that's a good August one.
Yeah.
You know, because nothing goes on in August. But instead of Jim Cotta, you picked Westworld.
I did.
Which I have to admit, I watched the first season, and then I kind of wasn't that eager to return. But I did because I really like you.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh, you watched it for me. Oh,
I
wow.
watched it for you. Don't say I don't do anything nice for you.
I will never say that. Jeez.
So the 7th out of the 10 episode second season aired on Sunday.
Yes.
What do you think of the second season so far?
So, part of the reason I wanted to talk about it, because I remember at the end of the first season, you guys had me on here, and we talked about Westworld, the first season. And I figured, since it's pretty much all the way, I mean, we're getting towards the end of the second season, so I thought it might be a good topic. So, but I remember in the first season when you had me on, I specifically said that I really liked the concept of Westworld. And the production, and this has nothing to do with production values or acting. I mean, that's all top notch to begin with, and special effects, top notch. But I thought I wanted it to be something else, and I thought it was going to be something else, and I kind of had an idea that I thought maybe the series was going to be a little bit more different. It was going to be different than what we got, and that was the first season. And then the second,
what did you think it was going to be?
I thought it wasn't going to be so convoluted. That was
okay.
The main thing. Is that I thought it was going to be more cut and dry.
Yeah.
And more straightforward. Kind of more like, not necessarily like the movie of the same name, but maybe a little bit more in depth for HBO. But just not nearly as you have to pay attention to every single minute and what every people are saying. That's a tough series to watch. For any, I don't care what series it is. If you have to pay attention at every moment, it's a tough series to watch. And so going into the second season, I kind of that was my thinking with this one too, was that we're gonna have more of the same probably, but I actually was not expecting it to be as crazy as it's been.
Yeah.
As all. So I guess I'm surprised again so I mean, I guess it's good that the series keeps surprising me in one way. On the other way, I kind of wish maybe it was a little bit more cut and dry.
Yeah.
Actually, that's again, just because there's so many different timelines and so many different things that are happening with the same people in the timelines that it gets extremely confusing.
That's my least favorite thing about the show.
Yeah.
Is that it's like they took some really good stories and threw them all in a blender, and they're just splicing them all together willy-nilly. It frustrates me. I'm like, just tell me a good story from beginning to end. I don't need all this fancy non-linear storytelling. It frustrates me. Because there's good stuff in the show. Like, I like that the show is exploring the idea of what it means to be a human and like have humanity.
I totally agree. Yeah.
When a lot of TVs are like, you know, pretty boring, like crime procedurals, like an NCIS or something. And so that's a pretty ambitious thing to be like, well, we're going to explore like what it means to be human and have humanity. And the idea that like, you know, the robots or the hosts, as they call them on the show, want to be human, and the humans kind of want to be hosts.
Yeah.
You know, they want to live forever.
At least some of them do. Yeah. Some of them do.
That's
the really rich people.
Super interesting stuff. And instead of just telling like a really good story, they're they're doing all this like multiple timelines, time jumps.
Yeah.
You know, telling story, like joining stories in the middle and going backwards and all, like, which is all stuff they did in Lost. And it was
and it didn't really work there either.
It was my least favorite thing about Lost too.
Yeah, they first had the flashbacks, right?
Right.
And then they had the flash forwards.
Yes.
And then they had the flash sideways, right?
Yes.
That was the other thing. It was like, oh, it's parallel universe thing going on. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that in the Lost. That pissed me off.
It drives me nuts, but I think because of that, the Thandie Newton storyline, Maeve, is the storyline that I'm enjoying the most, because it's the one that they're actually telling in chronological order. I am with you there. That was one of the things I was gonna say, is that Maeve is my favorite part of this show. Yeah.
And it's mostly it's based on the fact that she is in that one timeline only.
Yes.
And she doesn't have any other timeline that she's in. She's in that one timeline, and her entire character arc is happening there. And that's why I enjoy it. And I love like her band of misfits that she's gathered.
Yes.
And all the little things, and then the samurai world. The gunslinger and his partner kind of joined up with them, and so they had the parallel world of the thing. I thought that was really cool and clever. I
was actually really glad to watch it again. Like at first, I was like, "Ugh, Peter," but then as I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, I really like this." Like I think the performances, like you said, are top notch. Like everyone's really good in it. And like I said, I really like the stories. It really is like just that weird jumping around that I can't get on board with. And then there's some of it that I don't like. It's just like, we're going to torture characters you like. Yeah. That is a huge turnoff for me too, which, I mean, The Walking Dead did that stuff too. And I totally bailed on that because eventually I was like, I don't like watching this. But like Ed Harris's character is like that. Like he's the one who like just tortures people, and it frustrates me and makes me feel bad, and I don't like it. Yeah, it's interesting. I should mention too, by the way, anyone who doesn't know, we're totally going to talk about spoilers. So if you haven't caught up, spoilers. Yes, consider yourself warned. We're going to talk about spoilers. All right, go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, it's interesting that you talk about the Man in Black / gosh, what's his name? I forget. William, thank you, yes. Is that I actually found myself actually liking him more in the second season than I did in the first, because he wasn't so mad about just torturing people and killing them and just like having his way with all the hosts. He actually has like some sort of a purpose. And so he's actually trying to get to that purpose, and like he has to kill some people along the way, but he's not like taking pleasure in it. It seems like as much as as he's just trying to kind of survive at this point because he knows what's happening. Right. So I kind of found enjoying myself a little bit more with his character rather than the first season where it was just he's just an asshole. I think and it was like I can't get past the stuff he did in the first season. Yeah. So pretty much every time he shows up here, I'm like, fuck that guy. And see, what's on the flip side, is actually I do not like what's happened with Dolores. See, I really liked Dolores in the first season. I thought she was like the best part of the first season, along with Maeve. And I thought
it would change. But like this season has actually made me not like her at all. Like as the character, I actually want her to fail as a character.
I think. Do you think they're trying to do that? Do you think they're trying to do like a role reversal where
maybe
like she was so good and now she's kind of turning to the dark side, if you will, and then the Man in Black was so bad, and then he's kind of turning good. Like he tried to save that guy's wife, and he did save that guy's wife.
He did save her. Yeah,
I can't remember every character's name, but that guy's wife.
That guy who keeps showing up all over the place, over and over again. Yeah. I think you're exactly right. Actually, I think that they purposely have done this because they definitely have made Dolores into a major bad guy, and she has become kind of what has happened to her almost in a lot of ways, where she's torturing people and killing them, and changing what's his name, Teddy, into kind of the zombie host, like she did to Clementine and all the rest of those people who are all just kind of zombie hosts now. Like she kind of did it without any regard for him or anything. She just to get to her cause. That's it.
Yeah, so. James Marsden's performance was actually one of the ones I wanted to mention because like everyone talks about Evan Rachel Wood and Jeffrey Wright and Thandie Newton because they're all super awesome. But James Marsden, he was playing Teddy, and his character was such a good guy. Mm-hmm. And he had this like softness about like his eyes or something that he was just like, he was a good guy. And then they kind of reprogram him and make him like really hard and bad. And like his face just looks different. And I was like, holy shit, someone's acting with a capital A. Like,
no, they turned him into a psychopath.
Yeah, but like his eyes like have actually changed. Like he looks mad. Like he looks evil without
you're right.
but not like by like contorting his face or crazy makeup or anything. Like it's
he's
just
dead inside. Yeah.
Yes. And I was actually really impressed. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's done good. Like I said, the acting is always good. I mean, it's nothing to complain about there, and obviously production and special effects and all that stuff are awesome.
Yeah, they spend a lot of money on this show.
It's just the 4 and 5, 4 to 5. I think I counted at one point. I think there's like 4 to 5 different timelines that are going on. We have like there's the future, there's the current one, which I'll call the current one, which is the one where Hale and Bernard and the cleanup crew are all trying to get the information that'll allow people to become hosts or upload their consciousness as hosts. And then after everything has happened, and then you have the immediately after like everything that happened, which is with Maeve and Dolores and all those guys. And then there's another one where it was what's his name? Before Bernard became Bernard, that guy
it's like
programming
Albert.
Dolores. Yeah. Oh, yes. And so there's that one, and then there's like even another one where there was Bernard getting programmed by Dolores. Yeah. And then there's all these other. Then I think there's even another one. And it's just like, where are we at this point? It's
so there's a million really timelines, and in this most recent episode, how many times does something bad almost happen, but then it's interrupted by gunshots? Or a noise. So it's like, I'm going to cut your head open. Whoa, what's that noise?
There was a lot of this last episode,
so much. It happened like 8 times. It was ridiculous.
Well, she was about to kill Hale, and then it's like, oh, what's that gunfire? Oh, and then they run off, and then, oh, I'm going to kill you. And it's like, oh, it's gunfire. Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, it's gunfire. Ignore it. Kill her. I'm also really happy that they brought Elsie back.
Mm-hmm.
Because... and that's played by Shannon Woodward. I like that she really is like the stand-in for the audience.
Yes, she is in a lot of ways.
She talks like a normal human being. She's like, I'm going to get killed because some jackass wants to live forever. Fuck that. It's like, I like that.
And she's just generally like, what the fuck is going on around here? That's like one of the things she's just like always... So she always seems to kind of question, like, what's happening.
She's like, I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going back to dental school.
Yeah, it's good that they brought her back, because everybody thought that Bernard had just killed her, right? So that was kind of interesting.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm really glad.
And I do like Bernard in a lot of ways. I think Bernard's a good character. He's very interesting in that he's had this whole kind of strange arc where he, we thought he was kind of the master programmer, and he turned out to be a robot, and he killed that woman, and then like, oh shit, what happened? And then like he goes in and he kills another. We thought he killed Elsie, and then he wakes up in this season, and he's like, seems like he have gotten free will, and he's like he's his own kind of robot or whatever. And then like he goes and then he plugs himself back into the machine, and then Ford takes over him.
Yeah. So he's lost his free will.
Well, he lost his freedom again. Yeah. So it's like this whole like circle that's happened. It's interesting.
It's really, really weird. Like, because he's like, his allegiance keeps changing because he keeps changing.
Yeah.
It's a really good performance. And, well, I mean, I guess you just don't know what's going to happen. And it's so different than the movie.
Oh, yes.
So yeah. I watched the movie so that we could talk about it, and I had never seen it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
And I thought it was going to be like, oh, it's just a cheesy piece of shit, but it might be fun. And when we were watching it, I was like, oh, this is actually like legit good. Like, this is an entertaining movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it was actually a pretty decent hit when it came out in the theaters, like way back when. I think it actually did pretty good. So
I was really surprised. Like it has like the idea of the show, but it's not serious.
Right. It's Delos is there. Delos is a corporation, and they're also kind of working towards maybe doing something similar as we're seeing in the TV show, but not as a grand of a level, I would say.
Right.
And then and then the hosts start turning into mad killers, but it's a little bit more cut and dry. Whereas the hosts they don't have any basic like desires or needs. They're just killing everybody. Yeah,
they're not like, oh, I want to be human. They're like, they just have like a bug or something.
Right. It's like a virus. It's a computer virus. Right.
But it was so funny watching it because it's, it stars Yul Brenner. And it's actually kind of a good role for him because he's such a weird looking dude. But then like the lead, like the human lead is Richard Benjamin, who I kind of only know is playing like weirdos and dorks. So to see him play like this kind of character seemed different to me anyway. And then the other guy is James Brolin, who through the whole movie reminds me of Christian Bale, which he should remind me of Josh Brolin.
Right, you would think.
I don't know why, but he reminded me of Christian Bale. But, and this is totally random, but one of the things I noticed when watching the movie was, so Richard Benjamin and James Brolin's characters are friends. And they're there to like help Richard Benjamin's character like get over an old girlfriend or a wife or whatever. I forget. And they actually like hang out together and have a good time and seem to actually like each other. And it occurred to me how many times I've watched movies where they have these guys who are friends and you're like, why are they friends? They don't even like each other. They hate each other. And I was like, these guys actually like each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just something I noticed where I was
they
like,
just don't do that anymore.
No, they don't. Like, they're all like movies like The Hangover, and you're like, those dudes hate each other.
Yeah, exactly.
How are they even friends? How do they even know each other? But these guys, like, they actually seem to like each other. They laugh at each other's jokes. They actually care. I don't know. It's just a random thing I noticed in the movie that makes you care about them because they seem like nice guys.
But it is true. That's kind of like something that people they don't think about that much anymore. It's just like whatever we got. This is who we cast, and this is how they're written. Yeah. So whatever.
Well, and like they don't go to Westworld because they're like, yeah, let's go to Westworld and kill some dudes. Like that's not why they're there. So they kind of make them decent human beings, whereas almost every human in Westworld is a huge asshole. Yeah. Almost every. Not all of them, but almost all of the guests
Right.
at
they're
Westworld. They're
killing
like,
people.
Yeah.
They're doing worse things to women. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
it's like, oh, I can't wait to get to Westworld so that I could kill a man and rape some ladies. It's like, so then you don't feel really that bad when they die, which maybe is what they had in mind when they created the show.
Yeah. That's what I was like wondering. Is like, I wonder, like, is this actually what society would do? Like, if there was would they actually, like, would it, like, turn into kind of like The Purge, but you could get away with it, kind of? Where you just, like, have one night where you can just, like, kill as many people as you want and just feel good about yourself the next day. I mean, even if they're robots, you're still, you're still enacting violence of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, the morality is obviously a little different, but you're still your own self doing it,
Yeah. I watched the movie with my husband, and I think in the movie they're spending like $1,000 a day to be there, and then David like calculated it, and it's like, like a couple thousand more a day for inflation. And I told him, like, I don't know if I'd want to spend like $5,000 a day just to go to some park where I could like kill a man. That's not my idea of an awesome vacation.
Well, I'll just go to Disneyland.
I'd rather go to Disneyland and kill a man. No, like, I'm like, I'd rather go to Ireland and like have some Guinness or something than go to Westworld and kill a man. But I guess some people want to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, something.
Are you sure that's not what you're into though, Peter?
You know what? I don't know, actually. That's what I was thinking about. I'm like, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. Like obviously I wouldn't kill an actual living person.
Sure you wouldn't.
That's not
Peter.
something that I would do. But, like, if it was a robot, maybe.
See, I probably wouldn't even do that.
See, because it's like, they're not really. I mean, I guess, obviously that's why this show exists, because they're questioning their humanity, right? Do robots have souls? Do they have emotions? All that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm like, well, it's just a robot, but then maybe it's not just a robot.
Well, think about Maeve. Like, do you really think of her as a robot? Like, here's somebody who could lose her life, who is risking her life to find her child. That's something that any parent would do. So is killing her like any different than killing, Elsie?
Yeah. It's something to think about.
It's one of those things that I like about the show.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I have a question for you.
Yes.
So, do you think? So this is. Do you think that the hosts are following the commands of Ford still, Anthony Hopkins' character Ford, or do you think that they're truly free? Like, do you think that Dolores is following maybe a new set of programming that even though she just thinks that she's free and she's following what Ford wanted her to do and all these other characters wanted her to do, or are they actually free doing this on their own will?
I kind of assumed they were free at doing this of their own will because he kept saying that this wasn't his story anymore. Mm-hmm. But maybe I'm wrong. What do you think?
So, I think they're following the script.
Oh, okay.
I think that Ford had this in mind, that he was going to upload his consciousness and then set them free, and this was just part of his final FU to the corporation, and like, that they shouldn't upload consciousness to these people or whatever, something that has to, and that's why he's done it. Now I think Maeve is actually truly free. And I think Bernard was at one point, but now that he's kind of been taken over by Ford again, maybe he's not. But I think maybe those two, maybe the only ones that were actually truly kind of free from programming.
That is so... I hadn't even thought about it. But that's something to think about. Now I'm excited. Now I'm actually really looking forward to the next couple episodes.
Yeah, I saw that's been kind of thrown out there a couple times among some of the things that I read, and I was kind of, I had to like work it through. I'm like, you know what? I think that they are maybe still following commands, and it's just, this has been planned all along. It just, they think that they are.
I really just have no idea where the show's gonna go, and you never have any idea if when somebody's been shot and supposedly killed, are they really shot and killed?
Yeah.
Like Ed Harris's character's been shot like a million times. Yeah, he's still walking around, but he's not a robot apparently.
Shakes it
or
off, you know?
or is he a robot? I don't know. He seems to.
I don't know. He's like 70-year-old Iron Man. He took like 5 bullets that last
I know,
episode.
and then they
It's
show him,
like,
and he's still
whatever.
just. Yeah, and he's just sitting there, like, hiding
good.
behind something. Like, oh, I'll just walk it out. He's going to rub some dirt on it, walk it
Just rub
out.
some dirt on it. That's right.
And what's up with his daughter? Like, she's gone.
Yeah. Well, he ditched her, right?
Yeah, but she was the focus of, like, 2 episodes, and then...
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Oh,
I
you know,
mean,
what did
I'm
you
sure
think
she'll be
of?
back.
What did you think of the Raj and Samurai World? Did you like those?
I like the Samurai World a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I really liked how they did... It's funny, like, I was annoyed that Maeve kept the writer character. Was his name Simon?
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of annoyed that she kept him around. I was like, she should kill that guy. But I understand story-wise why they had to keep him. It was kind of... He was almost like an audience surrogate at that point. But I liked how when they went to the Samurai World, like, it was... You start to see the same story play out from the very first episode with, like, even the music is the same, but it's, like, Japanese style, quote-unquote. You know, paint it black, like an instrumental version of paint it black, but it's all Asian style. I'm putting that in quotes. I really like that. I thought that was really good. And I loved all of that stuff. I thought it was super cool. I was less interested in the other one.
The Raj.
Yeah, but they didn't spend a lot of time there.
No, they didn't. Yeah, but I don't know how much more there would be to it.
Right. I forget.
Colonial India. I'm not an expert
Who
on
wants
that.
to go to that? Who's spending all that money and is like, I want to go to colonial India? That's I don't get
Apparently
it.
some people.
I don't
So
get
apparently there's a website the Delios website has apparently 6 different worlds that they have on it. And one's the Raj, one's Samurai World, one's Westworld, and then there's a couple more. I'm not exactly sure which ones there are.
Well, so in the movie, they have like a medieval world.
Right. In the movie, they had medieval world, Roman world, and
Roman
Westworld.
world. Right.
Yeah.
Rome. I was trying to remember what was the other one. And the Roman world was all just a dirty sex one, wasn't it? It was just like Caligula or something.
Caligula?
Wasn't it?
Probably.
They kind of insinuate that it is.
I thought they all were.
Kind of, they all are. But there's they watch this introductory movie, and this man and his wife are watching it, and they talk about you could have all your carnal pleasures at the Roman world, and he's looking at her So that's how I took it, but maybe I have a dirty mind.
Oh, you're probably right. I haven't seen it in a while. I don't
See, now
remember
that
part,
one, I could see why people might want to go there.
Put on the toga and
Yeah, but
do it.
the colonial India one doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, the clothes are pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you're into that sort of thing.
So the sequel to Westworld, the original movie, Future World,
There's a
also has
sequel?
Yul Brenner in it. Yeah, there's a sequel. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, so it's called Future World, and it's basically they cleaned up a whole mess from the first movie, and they restart and they began again, and they made us a space one. It's a space world basically.
Nice.
They have all these future things, and so basically it's not nearly as good as the original, but it might be worth watching sometime if you're bored. But they basically they definitely touch, I think, in that one. I haven't seen that one either in a while, but I believe they kind of go about they're trying to make a bunch of copies of real people and replace them with robots. I think that's the theme of that one.
Look at that. Peter Fonda, Blythe Danner, Arthur Hill. Okay.
Right. And it's got Yul Brenner in it too, and
There
he
you
plays
go.
the gunslinger
Yep.
again. Yeah, he basically. I think they kept him alive or something, and they brought him over to
repaired
the
him.
future world for some
Took
reason.
him to the Jiffy Lube and fixed him up. I will. I'll have to put that on my list. I'll totally watch it.
I do remember it not being nearly as good as the original.
So it could be that Future World is probably more what I thought Westworld was going to be. Just looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's probably going to be terrible. Apparently, there was also a short-lived television series called Beyond Westworld.
That's right. Yeah.
Which I don't
think
remember.
It was the 80s.
Let's see. Let's look that one up. Yeah, 1980.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. It was very short-lived, I think.
Yeah, I bet that was pretty terrible too. I'll have to watch it.
Well, you're bringing a show that's got major violence and debauchery to networks in the 80s.
It's got Connie Selica in it. She's so 80s.
Yes.
I don't recognize any of these other people. Yeah, I'll put that on the list too, but I don't see myself watching that.
No, that's probably one you can skip, I would think.
Yeah, I'm going to skip that one. There's too much good television to watch.
Yeah.
Including finishing this show. So, what else can we talk about with Westworld?
I don't know. I think
you have
that's
other
it.
questions?
I don't really. I don't think I have anything else. At this point, at least. I just kind of wish they would maybe clear a little bit up in the next 3 episodes, so we don't have like the season finale being like we have 5 different timelines that we have to juggle.
Oh, it's so frustrating. Yeah.
So that's my hope, is that they can kind of tie it together a little bit more towards the end and kind of get a little bit of finality about what happened, and then maybe the 3rd season could be about how they rebuild Westworld into something else, and
how they rebuild it into Future World.
I don't know. Maybe they make Future World. That's right.
It's just, all these timelines, and because they had like some different timelines in the first season, but not like this.
Well, yeah, and they actually kept the one kind of really big twist that there were multiple timelines kind of secret until the final to the season finale, where they revealed that William was the Man in Black.
Which I think everybody already knew.
Yeah, but
right?
They didn't really kind of say that. They kind of hinted to it, but they didn't really say it. And then they definitely didn't kind of lead on that we were watching 2 different timelines.
Yeah.
The entire season. It seemed like we were watching one concurrent timeline with just different people doing different things.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of obvious.
Maybe I'm stupid.
Yes, that's what I was saying, Peter. No, I'm just kidding. Well,
No. I mean, I definitely saw that there was something weird going on.
Yeah.
I didn't put it all together until it was right in front of my face, I guess.
I'm really glad that you made me watch it. By made me, you asked. Because it is really good. Like, there's some really good stuff in here. It's pretty hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of the few shows that will have to sit and actually pay attention to.
Yeah, you can't watch this one and leave the room to go refill your drink and then come back. You need to pause it.
Exactly.
And watch it, because you're what's happening?
Because Ford could say something one line that means everything to the entire show, and you'd miss it. Or whatever. Somebody will say one thing that is the whole nutshell.
Yeah.
And it's just I was going to the bathroom.
I missed it. I missed the whole point of the show. Well, the truth is, Game of Thrones is kind of like that too, though. Not with multiple timelines, but in that you really do have to watch every single second.
Yeah, it's so not confusing like this.
No, not like this.
No, it's so where everybody is and where they are or whatever.
Yeah, Westworld needs to cut it out. It almost feels lazy to me. It's almost like we don't trust that our story's good enough. So we're going to try to falsely build suspense by starting the story in the middle and work and give you pieces or something. Right. It feels unnecessary because I think the story's solid the way it is.
Yeah, I think they do it a lot on purpose. I think that what they do, when they had that episode that began with Bernard and Dolores talking, and then she's like, "No, stop. Seesaw motor functions. That's not what he said or whatever." And it's wait a minute, what? Why is she commanding Bernard? And it's well, that had to do with something later that was revealed that that's how they rebuilt Arnold into Bernard, right?
Yeah.
Because he was. She knew him best or whatever. So, but they throw that in there at the very beginning of the episode, and it's just are we like in an alternate timeline now?
Yes.
Or, you know, what the hell is happening? You know, so I think they definitely do that kind of stuff on purpose, and then they reveal it later as to what part of the timeline that it's in. But it's like hard to keep up a lot of times.
Yeah. I mentioned Lost earlier. There's some very Lost-like things about it, and I think one of them is the show probably is more enjoyable for people that want to go on the internet and do research and like look for Easter eggs and go into, you know, read other articles with people's speculation of what's happening. You know, I don't like to do homework when I watch TV. Like, I'm not into it. But I bet I'm sure there's like a ton of stuff going on in this show that is just going right by me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's an entire Reddit community that has got like pages and thousands of pages of theories and, you know, opinions about it. I'm sure somewhere.
I'm sure. Have you watched Solo yet?
No, I have not.
Okay, then I'm not going to say anything else about that.
Wait, yeah, yay or nay though? How about that? Yay or nay?
It's fine.
Ooh.
Smith liked it more than I did.
Okay.
But I didn't hate it.
I know you're a big Han Solo fan.
I am a very big Han Solo fan, so maybe that's why I was a little underwhelmed. But I didn't hate it.
Well, that's good. At least you didn't hate it.
Yeah. I like The Last Jedi a lot more. Did you like The Last Jedi? It's very divisive.
I did like it in certain ways. In certain ways, I did not. I think on my second viewing of it, I actually think I liked it better the second time I watched it than the first.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I think I had an expectation going in, and then my second viewing, I think I was able to appreciate a little bit more of what was going on. So I think that helped. But definitely the first time I saw it in the theaters, I walked out of the theaters going, oh, man, really?
See, I thought Solo's filled with a ton of, like, wink. You know,
really?
Or what I've been calling fansturbation. There's a lot of fansturbation in Solo. But other people, by the way, other people super love that about it. Mm-hmm. And I'm super jealous. Like, I wish, like, all the people who love it, I'm like, oh, I wish I loved it. I love Star Wars.
Is it, like, really, like, in your face? Or, like,
I
hope I don't get it put in carbonite.
It's almost like that.
Is it really? Oh,
to
no.
me.
Oh,
to
no.
me. But other people super love it. So, you know, that's awesome. Good for them.
Well, I'll have to go see it now.
Yeah, you do need to go see it.
Clear mind.
Before you go, what else are you watching?
Right now?
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm watching Legion still.
Yeah.
I believe that it's not over. Then it's next week. It's over. Yeah, and it's actually not as good this season. Unfortunately, I really loved the first season. I really loved the first season of Legion. It was really good, and I was so excited for this season. And unfortunately, it's kind of not been as good. Which I'm
behind. I'm behind on that one. Like I got like halfway through the first season, and it just fell through the cracks for me. Like, 'cause there's just so much, and I keep meaning to go back to it. But now I'm really bummed to hear that the second season isn't that good.
Well, that's just my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, might feel different. But like, I really loved the first season. It was just so quirky and so different and so out there, and the episodes were had no idea what was going to happen from one episode to the next. And in this one, it's just kind of, they try to do that a little bit, and some episodes are good, and some episodes are just kind of like, hey, you know, just kind of let's go a little bit more. Let's go a little bit faster with what we're doing here. And then, so they've been doing the same theme the entire season. So it's been kind of, I'm not going to say what it was, but so it's been a little slow. Like I said, maybe kind of. The other thing I'm watching is The Expanse, which is the best show on TV. The best show on TV is The Expanse. I love The Expanse so much. It's so good. It's the best. It's not just the best sci-fi show. It's the best show on TV. And they canceled it at Sci-Fi. I don't know if you heard that.
That's so sad. I did hear that.
And then Amazon picked it up.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so Amazon Prime's
How many seasons is it right now?
This is the third season.
Okay.
So they picked it up for at least a fourth season. So that's good. So, but
how many episodes a season? Show. Is it? Can I catch up if I wanted to watch it?
13.
That's not that bad.
Yeah, no, it's not like a network.
Okay.
32 or however many network they've been. But yeah, I think there's 13 episodes. Let's see.
Okay.
Just do a quick look. Hold on.
My husband's interested in.
13. Yeah.
There's a new one coming on Freeform called Cloak and Dagger.
Oh yeah, based on the comic. Yeah.
Yeah, David.
Yeah.
David almost never mentions a TV show that he wants to watch. It's like unheard of.
Interesting.
And he's like, "Oh, I'm kind of interested in that one." He's also, "What is Freeform?" I was like, "It used to be it used to be ABC Family, and then now it's Freeform." But I
think used to be, and it used to be the Christian channel before.
Yeah,
that.
ABC Family. Yeah, what was it before?
Yeah,
it was like
we're
just going to show Seventh Heaven reruns all the time.
Yeah,
and then it was like
And they slowly
ABC Family.
transformed it.
And then, and now it's Freeform, which is...
They put Pretty Little Liars on it. And I think
they're like, we're just going to show whatever the fuck we want now. And we call it
teenagers
Freeform.
killing people.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe that Christian thing's gone now.
Yeah, that's not so much family. ABC Family, not so much.
Yeah. And I started watching Luke Cage, the second season on Netflix. So far, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I actually really like the first season, and that one is on my list, and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is on my list, too. And I started that one yesterday, but I haven't started Luke Cage yet. But I will be starting Luke Cage, because I think it's probably my favorite of...
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't get into the Defenders. I really tried, and I just couldn't make it happen.
It wasn't that great.
Yeah, and I tried to watch, or I did watch all of the first season of Jessica Jones, but she is kind of a bummer.
She is. And the second season is not nearly as good.
Okay, good to know. I like the show, and I like her, but she's such a downer that it's hard to sit through. It's hard to binge watch that one. Whereas I felt like the first season of Luke Cage, he's a little lighter.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It made it easier to watch. And I didn't even watch Daredevil, and I know you super love Daredevil.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I do like it a lot. Yeah, it's good. And I liked The Punisher. That was good. And Iron Fist. A lot of people didn't like Iron Fist. I thought it was okay. I didn't dislike it.
Right. Well, that one I didn't even start. Yeah. It didn't happen for me. But Luke Cage will definitely happen for me.
So far I'm liking it. So.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Peter.
Oh, pleasure.
Next time you need to come back, and we'll talk about Gymkata.
We've come full circle.
By the way, I don't even know why Gymkata is our running joke. You made some joke about it like 15 years ago, and now I can't let it go.
It was when I was reviewing DVDs for the San Francisco Examiner that came out on the DVD for the first time ever, and I got super excited. And you were like, "What the hell is Gymkata?"
I'm sure I knew what it was, but I probably didn't know that you actually legit liked it.
It's just like one of those shows, like when I was a kid, I'd watch like HBO or whatever, like when, maybe I was like 8 or 9, and like it'd come on and I'd be like, oh, this is weird, what is this? And I'd watch it and I'd be like, it's really bad, but it's like just like people get their butt kicked.
Okay,
so.
That's me with Beastmaster.
I remember Beastmaster too,
Yeah, so I recorded a podcast episode that's going to come out next week with my dad. And we were just talking about like different movies that we like or we watch, mainly John Wayne. But we also just talked about random movies that were on all the time when I was younger. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why did we watch Beastmaster all the time? And he's like, because it was just on. It was on TV all the time. And I was like, the Beastmaster station, TBS. Like, Beastmaster was always on. And I have this like super soft spot for Beastmaster. It's not a good movie.
It's so funny because you say that. That's hilarious because my sister used to say about HBO, hey, Beastmaster's on.
That makes me laugh really hard. How many... Just like every channel has like a Beastmaster like
It's just like,
acronym
that's all
to
it-
it.
They must have just sold it so cheap that everybody got it, like everywhere. It's just like, oh, we're giving it to you, $100. You can sew it as many times as you want.
That's what ABC is, a Beastmaster channel.
Beastmaster channel. There you go. Like you can do with anything. Just it has as long as it has a B in it.
Central
you can do it.
Beastmaster Station. It's always on. Oh my god, now I'm going to go watch Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Well, let me do the little rundown here. You can find the Dorking Out Show at dorkingoutshow.com, and you can find us on Twitter at Dorking Out Show. You can follow me on Twitter at The Sonia Show. And Peter, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at
Blah, blah, blah.
assignmentx.com or Peter AX on Twitter.
Awesome. Thanks again, Peter. This was super fun. And
Yeah.
I guess next time you come on, we might have to talk about Beastmaster.
We'll do the Beastmaster episode. That's right.
Sweet! All right, everybody. I will see you next week. Will be the dad episode. Thanks again, Peter, for coming on. All
Welcome.
right.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.